Hey everybody, I'm Scott Weichel. You're listening to the original My Kind of Country right here on My Kind of Country, mkocradio.com. My guest tonight had some monster hits back in the 90s, and I'll tell you what, I used to play a lot of his songs, and we used to cover a lot of his songs back in my band days. He had some of the best tunes out there for dancing and just to make your heart sing a little bit. He had some of the greatest songs out there, and he has taken a little hiatus, and he's had some pretty amazing things happen in his life, and but he is back now with a brand new greatest hits album with a couple new songs, and it's a pleasure to have him on the show tonight. This is Doug Supernaw. Doug, how are you tonight?
Doing fine, Scott. How you doing?
Fantastic. Good to have you on the show, man. It's good to have you back back making music again.
Yes, sir.
Well, you've got a
never really quit. Just it varies up and down.
Yeah, I hear you, man. Well, you had some pretty major things happen. I know you had fallen and broken your neck, and you had a bunch of really serious things happen in pretty short order there.
Yeah, that was all early on though. I mean, that was before I had hits really, and then after I had hits, of course, country changed, and a bunch of us got left behind, and I was one of them. So we're out there doing it again, trying to do it again.
Well, that's great. And you have a new song. There's a couple new songs on this album, and talking about the way that country music has changed. This song called "The Company I Keep." I love the song, and tell me a little bit about this.
I wrote that song actually on September 11th after the bombing, and it was kind of my response to what happened there, and never did record it until got with BJ, and we recorded this album back in January back in Nashville, so I decided I wanted to record it, and I did. And pretty proud of the record.
It's a great song. I really do like it a lot. And, we've lost so many of the big names in country music. We just lost Glenn Campbell here recently, and, man, I'll tell you, we're losing them, but it's really good that we have people like yourself that are carrying on the real sound,
I know one thing, that's country music, so that's what I'll keep playing.
Amen to that. And tell me about Here's My Heart. That's the other new song that's on this album.
Here's My Heart I wrote in my backyard in Belleville, Texas, and very proud of that one. I think that one's, I write slow country and hopefully country that means something to somebody, and it was just a song I wrote. Actually, my ex-wife, or my wife I was getting divorced from at that point, thought I wrote it about her, but I didn't. I wrote it about God, so it was kind of upsetting to her. It was not written about her, but it turned out good, and the record, we did the record this January, so it's on the album.
That's great. And you, of course, re-recorded a whole bunch of your hit songs. Of course, your smash number one, I Don't Call Him Daddy. And, I'm a big fan of people re-recording their songs, and a lot of people don't like it. They want to hear the originals, and I'll tell you why. I like them because when you take some time and you live with the songs for a while and you perform them for a long time, I'm sure you'll agree with me, the songs kind of evolve, and you're kind of coming back at it with that knowledge and having lived with the song for a while, so it almost gives it a different interpretation.
A little bit. I mean, you want to do as close to the original as you can, especially if it was a hit. And so I think we succeeded in that, although it sounds a little different, but they all, I think they carry the same punch that they carried back then.
Oh, absolutely. Your voice sounds great. Your voice has really deepened and enriched a lot as the years have gone by, and it's sounding powerful and great.
Well, thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
Well, tell me a little bit. I've always been curious. A couple of things. I absolutely love this song. It's on your Deep Thoughts from a Shallow Mind album, and it's your version of You Never Even Called Me By My Name, the perfect country and western song. And you've got everybody that's mentioned in this song actually comes in and sings their own line, like Merle Haggard and Charlie Pride and everything. How did that all come about?
Well, my producer was at a live show, and he wanted to do that song on the record, and I didn't want to really do it unless we could get those people. We got Merle and Charlie Pride and Waylon Jennings and David Allen Coe, and I said, you can't recut a David Allen Coe song. So we went in the studio, and we called them, and they said they'd do it. So we went ahead and did it. And it turned out got released for a little bit, but it was up against another one of my songs, so they both kind of killed each other off.
Hate it when that happens.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Well, that's the version that I tend to play on my show. I absolutely love that version. I think that is such a cool idea. I'm surprised no one else had come up with it before then, you know?
The best thing I ever heard was that somebody did a mashup of mine and David Allan Coe's version. It was on a boat in Oklahoma. It sounded great, though. I loved it.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, it was cool having
So
David.
I definitely don't want to take the airtime away from David Allan Coe because he's a friend of mine, so
That's
I want
right.
to take that airtime away from him.
Well, it sure had some authenticity having him on that recording too. And then you were
Oh, yeah.
you were part of a project, and it was called Stars and Stripes. It was an album that the Beach Boys did with country stars, and you had Long Tall Texan, which is also, you've got a new version of this on your new Greatest Hits album, and
Right.
singing with the Beach Boys, and you guys did a video for that too. I remember watching that. That was great.
We sure did. We did it up in Atlantic City, New Jersey, on the boardwalk there.
That's really cool.
And,
What was it like recording with the
with the-
Beach Boys?
It was just awesome. You know, they're heroes of mine, and got to sing lead with them about 3 or 4 shows, and play with them in Atlantic City and Farm Aid, and on one of their concerts on the East Coast, and it was just fun, a lot of fun.
That was a great album.
Sure was.
I pulled that out recently
Thank
and
you.
listened to it, and I really, really enjoyed that version. I'm glad that you redid it on this new album, too. And incidentally, folks, Doug's website is dougsupernaw.com, and the new album is Greatest Hits plus the 2 new songs. It's also available at Amazon and iTunes, and you can download all those songs there. And, of course, you're going to be hearing them on our show as well. And, Doug, you've got some dates coming up, too. You're going to be on the Grand Ole Opry in October, I see.
That's what I understand. I understand we're going to be doing the Opry stage on the 19th of October, I think, and then there's dates just everywhere. We're going to. I play tonight in Tomball, Texas, and then I go to Illinois, and then back here, and I play in Livingston, Texas, and went back up to Illinois, then over to Indiana, I think, and gosh, I don't know, we're just going everywhere.
Man, I guess so. Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that you're out there, and I know your fans are going to be glad to see you too. Absolutely.
Yes, sir. It's been fun.
You had a song. It wasn't a chart hit for you, but it's always been one of my favorites, and I actually get a lot of requests for it. Called "Honky Tonkin' Fool."
That was my first single.
Was it?
That was my first single that we released was Honky Tonkin' Fool off my first album.
No kidding, man. That is
Sure was.
That's a great song. I do. I get a lot of requests for that, and that's one of my favorite songs that you do. I absolutely love that one.
Good deal. Yeah, that was kind of our sacrificial lamb. You know, you got to throw one. I think it went up in the 30s, but I think that's as high as it got. But it was a good video, and I was very proud of that. Reno came right behind that.
Oh yeah, that was a smash one for you too. That was that went number 5, I think. That was a great song. And then "Not Enough Hours." That's Not Enough Hours in the Night, and what a great title.
That was a good tune. Yeah, that was on my 3rd album. That was on my Giant album.
That's great.
Yeah, sure.
Have you ever played the Grand Ole Opry before?
Never have.
Wow.
Never have. Never been. I've been on the Opry stage one time for just like a sing-along deal, but I've never played it, no.
Well, that's great. We're looking
So I'm
forward to that.
looking forward to it.
Absolutely. And you were inducted into the CMA of Texas Hall of Fame last year, too. Congratulations. That's an honor.
Thank you. Yes, it was. I don't know how they get that deal, but I thought you had to be retired or gone, but I'm proud of it. Yeah, it's a very nice deal.
Well, that's great. What is it like for you when you remember, go back and remember some of those first albums, and as opposed to where you are today when you were re-recording the songs? Were there some memories that came through your mind of when you did them the first time?
Well, the first time you just kind of going in there and seeing and hoping, and I guess that's not much different from what you're doing this time, really, but the business has changed a whole lot with the onset of the internet and all. And whereas it used to be consultants and radio people, now it's more radio conglomerates and internet. And so basically the music is pretty much the same, but the feeling and the business approach you have to have going into it is a lot different today than it was back then.
Oh, yeah.
Because back then it was relationships. You know, it was if you knew the radio guys and you got your record played, or at least they tried it with the audience.
Sure.
And if you didn't know them, the audience never got to hear it. So I was fortunate enough to get it, get some play. And although my songs took a long time to get up to the top, they usually did get to the top. So that was a good thing.
Absolutely. Well, the nice thing with our station is I like to play a lot of album tracks and things like that, so I get to pull out songs that may not have gotten heard by a lot of the people out there, and there's some great stuff. And you have written some fantastic songs, and I assume you're still doing a lot of writing too.
Oh yeah. Just waiting to see what this album does. We might go in and do a new album with all new songs, but jury's still out on that.
Well, I sure hope so, and it's you're certainly staying busy. And folks, again, please visit DougSupernaw.com, and you can pick up that new Greatest Hits package. And, of course, give him a like on Facebook and Twitter, and Amazon and iTunes. You can download the songs there as well. And we're going to play Company I Keep, and Here's My Heart. These are the new songs from the Greatest Hits album. And, of course, we're going to play some of your big songs, too, off of this album. And, Doug, I want to thank you so much for taking time to be on the show.
Thank you, Scott. I appreciate it very much.
All right.
I'll take care of it in Michigan. Yeah, we just left there. We went to where were we? Sault Ste. Marie.
Oh yeah.
Doing an urban cowboy thing up there, and I guess it was back in July, 1st of July.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I hope next time you get up here, I'll get a chance to see you. That'd be great.
That sounds great, sir.
All right, Doug Supernaw in My Kind of Country. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Scott.
All right. Here's Company I Keep as we continue.